Why, hello, all there. Now, I'm Forbidden Thinker, and look what we have here. We have a video from this guy in particular. And, granted, this guy is the same guy that comments on my videos a lot lately with the new MGTOW series subject. But, ever since I checked out his channel, and it turns out he made a video about the whole thing, or not specifically me, but specifically despite a lot of people criticizing MGTOWs in particular, as far as I understand. But I figured since I saw this video, I might as well give my 2 cents response to it, so let's see how this goes.
There were a few new attacks lately against MGTOW, and here are my thoughts on them. 1. They all seem to come from the same people who can be categorized in 3 groups. A. Those I personally call the traditional cocks, that is tradcucks. They are the usual religious extremists. Their main message against MGTOW can be boiled down to, all men must shut up and go back to the plantation to sacrifice themselves for women in the name of Jesus, white race birth rate, and immigration. B.
There's a special little clip that I'd like to have you watch in a second.
Citation needed!
Yeah, after you see that clip, you will know what my answer is, basically. Citation needed, because, you don't know that everybody, you really don't know that everybody is a traditionalist. That's making a very big and bold claim indeed. Not to mention, I'm not even in for traditionalist values myself. I don't really care that much about the values of traditionalism. I care more or less about debunking bad arguments and bad argumentations, which you seem to be displaying so far.
MRA warriors. A subcategory of tradcucks. For them it all boils down to money. They are not particularly fond of the fact that free MGTOW content on YouTube is in direct competition with their MRA business model. With MGTOW, there is no need to pay $90 to have a 1-hour Skype with their guru Paulium or pay to attend one of their forums.
And there's the problem that you have. It seems that you really don't like the MRAs. The all jolly MRAs that are doing some great work in the court systems, and granted, even though their progress isn't that much, they're making good headways into actual progress and towards fixing the court system. Now, what you're saying is literally just you giving the middle finger in front of them with no actual argumentation, so I can easily dismiss this because you're not giving an argument of why these MRAs in particular are as bad as you may claim as them to be, basically.
C. Anti-feminist warriors. The female ones are either post-wall hags angry they couldn't hunt a man to get half his life, or younger fat rejects who also couldn't hunt a man or are afraid more MGTOW men means less ATMs for their post-wall age. As for the male anti-feminist warriors who, in addition to attacking 12-year-old feminist girls on YouTube, are strangely obsessed with MGTOW. Some of them even post several videos per day against MGTOW. And to be honest, there is a question that any straight man is probably asking himself right now. Why would a straight man be so obsessed with another man's sexual life or with another group of men opting out of marriage and dating industry?
Wow. It seems like, again, citation needed, because, again, you're making a bold claim. A very big bold claim indeed. Plus, what is it with these MGTOWs and the despise of anti-feminist warriors, or especially anti-feminist women in particular? What's up with that? Granted, I understand not all MGTOWs think this way, but apparently it's a growing trend that MGTOWs are becoming increasingly a little hostile to the anti-feminist females as well. I don't think we're strangely obsessed with MGTOW. In particular, I think what's going on is that we're seeing bad arguments from your side. And naturally so, we have to debunk them or to criticize those ideas and scrutinize them. The problem is, you in particular are acting kind of like a feminist in particular. You're the one that's acting like a feminist whenever your ideas are criticized, so that and, ironically, you in particular are obsessed with my channel, so that's kind of hypocritical for you to say that, just saying. I don't think it's an obsession with another person's sexual life. In fact, I think you got that entirely confused. When people are criticizing MGTOW, they're not criticizing the sexual life of whatever. They're criticizing the arguments on what you're saying, what you're doing. It has nothing to do with your sexual life. Which begs a question, is MGTOW even a sexual life? Just because the way that you wrote here kind of implies that MGTOW is some sort of sexual thing. In terms of having sex with something else, not exactly as a woman in the bedroom. I don't know. Right, the way that you wrote it implies that MGTOW is a sexual life, and I don't know, that does not jar with me very well. And not to mention, again, your problem is that you don't understand that people aren't criticizing the sexual life or whatever. They're criticizing bad arguments, bad ideas, and putting them under the lens of scrutiny. Science does this all the time with new theories. Like if a theory is proposed, then it has to stand the test of time among scrutiny. Like a good table. A good table has 4 legs. If it has one less leg and it has only 3, it's not going to, that whole argument is going to fall down on its sides. That's what's going on. People are criticizing bad ideas and bad argumentations. It has nothing to do with obsession with another man's sexual life. You know what I mean?
2. Now, let me explain why all of those efforts are vain. MGTOW is an idea, a mindset. And, as long as the root causes of that idea still exist, it's simple logic to conclude that the idea will survive, under MGTOW or different names. In short, the attacks against MGTOW are many. Reaching their goal is however impossible. The root causes of MGTOW exist and are expanding. The idea of MGTOW will therefore always exist and continue to expand.
That's not logical in particular. In fact, just because the idea can exist doesn't make it inherently logically true or false. It kind of boils down to, my idea has always existed for some amount of time, therefore it's logically true, which it does not follow well with logic. It makes no sense. Not to mention, it brings back a couple other topics I used to debate with the religious. Like, just because Christianity was here for a long time doesn't make it true, which you're kind of imitating the same narrative that the Christians are using, just saying. And not to mention, you're claiming that MGTOW is a mindset, which that's kind of a scary sort of proposition for you to basically hold back on, because, I wouldn't say hold back, but just really declare, because you're sort of declaring that it's a mindset, which therefore that sort of means there are certain attributes within a culture, or I wouldn't say culture, community that thinks in the same manner, which it is to an extent in terms of not marrying people and that sort of commonly stuff. But what you just said, doesn't that declare that somehow all MGTOWs think the same way? Like, I know a few MGTOWs in particular that don't agree with each other. I know at least 2 in particular that hate Angry MGTOW with their guts because of what he did, and I've met several others that fully support Angry MGTOW for what he's doing. So, just saying, not all MGTOWs think the same way.
Sorry, guys.
No, sorry you, because, here's the problem. Here is a big fundamental problem. Just because it's been around for a while doesn't make it right or wrong. And not to mention the root causes of MGTOW exist. Yeah. The whole MGTOW thing, I'm starting to believe that it came from one particular problem, but that problem is no longer existent to the point where you are seeing problems when there are none. And not to mention, it's not impossible to criticize MGTOWs. It really isn't. I've seen Zephyrian take down Turret-Fanging Monkey. Another example is a Chamber in Her Hearts, and she did another response to Turret-Fanging Monkey, and a guy named Starbird Disagree also responds to Turret-Fanging Monkey. Now, Turret-Fanging Monkey is well known to be the big guns within the MGTOW community. He's like the biggest MGTOW that responds to basically anti-MGTOW sort of videos. And yet, why is it that these critics, when they're criticizing Turret-Fanging Monkey, are always right when it comes to exposing the logical fallacies of he's been saying? Just saying. But anyways, I'm Forbidden Thinker signing out, and I hope you loved this nice response rebuttal to this in particular YouTuber. And let me know if you want more of these types of videos where I'm responding to basic low-life obsessed trolls.